Somewhere at some point in time, there was a guy that left an impression on a young lady. Okay. And this happens very often to women all across the globe. Okay. I'm talking mainly about the Western civilization, obviously, but this is something that does happen. Okay. And it's very, very common where they knew a guy that impacted them for better or for worse, right? Meaning he impacted them in a negative or positive way. And they think about him. This is the guy that they always think about. And he's kind of like the guy that is a standard. So sometimes, unfortunately, a lot of young ladies, they might compare other guys to this guy some subconsciously. They're like, ah, man, he don't meet to so and so standard, right? And this is the case for a lot of young ladies. They get an emotional attachment to a certain guy. And I'm gonna get right into it. This is Tarik Talks. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, and I'm greatly humbled. So, a lot of chicks, you're gonna talk to them, and they are gonna have a guy that they still reminisce about, they still ruminate about. Not all, okay, not all. And the reason why I always make a disclaimer of not all is because I don't want you guys going out there and thinking that every single chick does this. Because guess what? If you go in with that kind of mind frame, then that's the type of chick you're gonna attract subconsciously, right? If you feel like all chicks do this and all chicks do that and all of them are the same, guess what? Every single chick you're gonna meet is gonna automatically be molded to your mental framework of what a woman is. Just throwing that out there, okay? But a lot of times, these young ladies will have a guy that they reminisce about for the better or worse. So sometimes they reminisce about this guy because he showed them what a man was. They really loved being around him. They felt safe. They felt secure. You know, they felt very attached to this guy, and it was healthy, right? There wasn't anything bad about this man. As a matter of fact, he was probably the standard of a man. I mean, a lot of chicks have this type of guy and they end up leaving him, right? And it's very twisted new kind of world or society that we live in. It's like a good man gets left behind a lot of times. He gets dumped out of completely nowhere. This happens, guys. This does happen. And he gets taken for granted. And the chick is like, oh, I just want to leave him for no reason. This literally happens, guys. And I don't want you to think it's all of them. It's just certain types of females, right? But it does happen a lot. Like I said, I don't know what the hell is going on with society as a whole. There's definitely some kind of mental illness deal going on as a whole. I'm not talking individually, but as a whole, to where being toxic is accepted. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, this guy was just a good model of what a man is. Very masculine. He showed her new things. She never had to worry about anything. She was very taken care of. He took care of her, made sure he was protecting her, all that good stuff. For whatever reason, she just felt like she got bored or whatever the hell and bounced on him. She left him. But now she's running into this very savage dating scene, okay? Because this dating scene, fellas, you think is hard for you. Trust me when I tell you this. A lot of these chicks out here are getting, you know, dudes are running ramshot on them, right? These dudes are running amok on these chicks, especially the guys that are considered attractive, especially the guys that are considered to be the top men and all that stuff. They're having their pick of the litter, and these chicks are getting, you know, they're getting ran through because what they thought isn't what actually was, right? They're like, let me leave this guy. I can do better. And they come out in this dating scene and get straight up, they get their tail handed to them, because then now they see a lot of these dudes are on some savage type of stuff. And she's going to reminisce about him. She's going to be like, dang, I remember Joe. Shout out to my Joes out there. I remember Joe. He was such a strong man. He always made sure everything was taken care of. He always made sure the kids were good. If there's any kids involved, he always made sure I was good. I never had to really worry about anything. And now I'm out here getting ran through, and these guys aren't calling me back. You know, these guys aren't calling me back after we do what we do, and I'm just going from guy to guy to guy. And this is real talk. They reminisce about this guy because when they were with him, he just made them feel very secure, very feminine, right? And they're gonna, now this is gonna be like the guy, their go-to guy, that when they're thinking about, they're like, dang, I miss Joe. He was a real guy, right? And on the flip side, a lot of young ladies, you know, and this is kind of weird because you would think logically that people don't want to be with toxic people, but that's not the case in this society. As I have said, look, let me tell you guys something. A lot of people come from cycles of broken homes. They come from cycles of broken home after broken home. So what they're used to, what they're addicted to, is that toxicness, right? They're literally addicted to it. Just like how people think of how people use illegal substances. They know that smoking a rock is terrible for them. They know that it's gonna probably end up ending them at some point, right? People who be shooting stuff up, they know that it's gonna end up making them OD or whatever the case is. But they're addicted to it because it gives them a feeling. It makes them feel alive, so to speak. This is the same way with these type of men that a lot of these young ladies deal with. And going back to the same chick I was talking about for an example that left a guy that was a good man, she probably was that case. That deep down inside, she felt like this guy was too good, and deep down, she thought he was too good. She didn't deserve him. And plus, on top of that, he wasn't giving her that toxic excitement that she was used to. So fast forward to what I'm talking about now, about how a lot of chicks, they have this emotional attachment to a guy that was really toxic, right? He was really toxic, really not good for her, right? Constant fights, constant arguments. He was constantly cheating on her, and you would think logically from the outside looking in, why would you want to get with this guy again? Why are you still thinking about this character? Logic, we're talking about logic here, but when we're talking about how these young ladies feel about these guys that they will keep thinking about and remembering, we're not really talking too much about logic here. And there's a common trope of women being more emotional. Well, it depends on the situation. Guys, don't always think this, okay? Don't always think, oh, it's just emotion and stuff, because what that does is it takes away a little bit of accountability. Like, oh, she did this, she's just emotional. Nah, they still have logic. They still freaking have logic, okay? They know what's right and wrong. But in this case, it's, like I said, more emotional driven. They're going to be attracted to a guy that used to scream at them, used to always disappear. They would break up just to make up, right? You guys remember that song back in the day, break up just to make. Well, this is old as hell. This song probably came out in the 60s. So I can't even say back in the day like it was a decade or two ago, right? And it's a perfect illustration of how these relationships go. It's a breakup just to make up. And that feeling, that kind of emotional raise to the dopamine, raise to the, just overall dopamine that it gives a lot of these young ladies, and the way that their mind is programmed, it keeps wanting to go back to this guy. Just like I don't really keep up with social media and celebrity BS, because that's what it is. It's BS. It really has no kind of meaning, no kind of benefit to anybody's life, right? But Blueface and Krishan. Logically speaking, there should be no way that these two are together. Logically speaking. But we're talking about something called emotion, and emotion is one of the most powerful things on this earth. Emotion will cause a person to take someone else's life. Okay, that's how powerful it is. So that powerful emotion is gonna drew her back to him, even though they've gotten in public fist fights before. I've seen a video of them two getting in a fist fight in the middle of the street. I'm like, this is a hot ghetto mess. But they got back together because she is addicted to him. She cannot leave him alone. She's always going to think about him. He's going to be that guy that she's going to ruminate forever. And whether it's positive or negative attention, it is attention. You guys got to understand that. Whether it's positive or negative, it is still attention. And where attention goes, energy flows, right? So she's given that mental space, that mental energy. That's why a lot of these chicks, they end up going back to their ex, right? They end up going back to their ex, or they still mess with their ex while they're talking to other guys, right? They still be messing with their ex while they're talking to other guys because they swore him off, but they just can't get enough of him. Hope this video helped. Let me know what you thought. Peace.